Hello, today we're going to talk about expanded form to the thousandths place. So we're kind of extending our knowledge of place value, and this time we're adding expanded form. Now, before we jump into this, I want to point out a couple different vocabulary terms because they're not really that clear in our text. Let's say that you've got a number 231. Now, if we were to write that in expanded form, we're basically, in fact, I'll even put it here. I'll put it in our place value chart. 200s, 3 10s, and 1 1. And so we would write 200 plus 30 plus 1. That is the standard definition of expanded form. But today we're going to look at the more formal definition, and we're calling it expanded notation. And when you have expanded notation, you're breaking it apart even more. For example, if you have the number 231, we're going to look at it this way. We're going to say, oh, I have 2 hundreds. 2 times 100. So we broke that 200 up into 2 times 100. Then we're going to put our plus sign. We're still bringing that down. We look at the next digit. We look at the value in the place value chart, 3 10s. Oh, 3 times 10. And for the last one, we could put 1 times 1. We can do that with decimals as well. If we're going to be writing out expanded form to the thousandths place, here's 2 things to remember. The value of a digit depends on its position on the place value chart. If you have a 2 in the tens, the value of the 2 is 20. And we get that, find the value of a digit by multiplying the digit by its place value. So here's the digit is 2. We multiply it by its place value. We have just written 20 in expanded notation. Here's our problem that we're going to be working on. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put that number in our chart, and I need to move my cat out of the way. Here we go. Sorry, Rose. Okay, so we are going to write this number in our place value chart. Let's do that. Always look to see where that decimal point is, because that is going to match right here. We've got a number to the left of it, 8, and then we have 73 to the right. We would read this as 8 and 73 hundredths. So let's look at the first digit. Let's look at the 8. Okay, I'm gonna write up here. So that one is actually, I'm gonna write down here. So 8 times, the value of a digit depends on its position on the place value chart. So we've got the 8, it's in the ones. Find the value of a digit by multiplying the digit by its place value. So 8 times 1. So that is the first step. And then plus, because we're going to have a plus sign between all of our terms, all of our add-ins. And so now we have 7 tenths. So the value of a digit depends on its position on the place value chart. Its position is in the tenths. So we are going to do 7 times 1 tenth. Okay, 7 multiplied by 1 tenth. We've got a plus sign. Look at our next digit here. It's 3. 3 times, and this time it's hundredths. So that's what we would write. Okay, let's look at this one. We have 2 and 53 thousandths. Kind of give you some hint there because I read it already. We look for our decimal point. That should be pointing to the decimal. Right here we have 2. We've got a 0 in the 10th spot. We've got a 5 in the 100th spot. and a 3 in the thousandth spot. Let's put that in expanded notation. Well, let's look at the 2. 2 times 1, because that's the ones place. So 2 times 1, and we know that equals 2, plus how many tens? Tenths? 0. So 0 times 1/10. Let's make that into an x so it's a little bit more clear. Plus 5 times, oh, look, it's in the hundredth spot. So 1/100th plus, I'm running out of room, I'm going to write it down here, 3 times 1,000th. Now I put these in parentheses to make it a little clearer that each one of these is a term in our number. You can see how they all match. So now we have 2 plus 0 times 1/10 plus 5 times 100th plus 3 times 1,000th, and that is 2 53,000ths broken down into expanded form, but a little bit further into expanded notation. I hope that was helpful.